even further beyond!
Yes, sir. My name is Zakashi, guys, and in this video here, I'm bringing you guys a guide to use Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku at the maximum efficiency. So for you guys that did pull him, this is the perfect video for you. For you guys that didn't pull him, this is still a very good video for you guys to actually counter him, because I'm going to be laying out everything that actually makes him a good unit and how to use that to your maximum potential, alongside ways that you can counter him. So it's upsides and downsides. But for some of you guys that still don't have him, I will be posting a CC guide very soon. But this video is still useful for you because you might get him in the future and you'll be facing him a lot in PvP. So it's good to know how to counter him, how to deal with him, so you're not just dealing with a broken unit every single time. He's still going to be that broken unit, but there is ways around it, and this video is going to bring you those ways, literally bringing it to the table. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. I done this last time when Ultra Saiyan Goku came out, but there are a few differences that makes this guy just that next level, so you need to actually pay attention to this one. Press that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're on this grind to 30,000 subscribers. All my social media links are going to be on the bottom of the screen. There's the YouTube channel, but we've got a Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link, all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. But yeah, I'm not trying to hold you guys up any longer. We're trying to get into this video with maximum efficiency. There's a lot to get through. I might just number the ways that you can actually use him at the maximum and list a few things that can actually allow you to counter him. So tune in for the whole video. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the main key differences that comes with using Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku in comparison to Saiyan Goku, who we've had in the game for like over a year now. So with Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, the main thing I want to point out is that he does offensive damage when he dodges an enemy attack, only if it's a strike or a blast darts. So if you're looking at the counter, you could easily see that if you want to drain his gauge, you would do that through tap attacks, tackles, or tap shots from long range. When it's a strike or a blast darts, he will deal offensive damage, which is very, very annoying to deal with. Very annoying to deal with. His gauge is also way easier to fill in comparison to UI Saiyan Goku. UI Saiyan Goku can only fill the gauge by switching out and then it replenishes over time, or using his blue card. But with this guy here, he replenishes his gauge by actually using strike and blast darts, which is like every single combo, which is actually very, very, very useful. On top of the fact that he fills it when he uses a green card, that also is just an additional thing where you can actually just fill your gauge so that you can have a better chance of actually surviving on the battlefield against your enemy. It's quite a bummer, but this guy doesn't have an explosive green, so in exchange for the explosive green, you get your gauge on the green, and there's a lot of other things that come with the green, such as building up his ultimate damage, cancelling own attribute downgrades, getting a card immediately. You get key as well, but Saiyan got that as well. But just a few things that they swapped over. It's not an explosive green, but you do get some benefits out of it. And then finally, I feel like the biggest thing that they have with this unit, in my opinion, is that when he's last stand, he actually gets endurance, and that endurance would actually change the game. He doesn't have any type neutral, which is actually quite a bummer, because if you're last stand, the endurance is basically just longing out how long you're going to live, because you're still going to probably lose because you're red. But he is a damage unit. He can build up a lot and ramp up a lot. So if you use his gauge effectively, which is what this video is for, you can actually easily come back if you're 1v2, 1v3 with his gauge, in accordance to the fact that he also has endurance. A lot of people might not know as well, so they might forget, and that would be in benefit of you. Now, I don't have many counters for this guy, and that's simply because he's just that good. He's meant to be. He's meant to be that good. He's meant to be slightly overwhelming. His damage, not necessarily. It can be at certain times. I feel like it's literally inconsistent, but it's meant to be something that you build up. But I will say you can counter this guy, but it's not going to be easy to do. The best ways to actually counter this guy, the first way I figured out is by doing strike cancels. Strike cancels would literally just bait out the enemy if they're not being patient, because a lot of MUI players are not patient. Don't go for the full strike. Always strike cancel from long range, so you strike and then cancel. The UI player will probably just stand still because they know they can deal offensive damage against you if you actually go ahead and hit them with a strike or a blast darts. If you're going to do a blue card, they'll probably just vanish. So strike cancelling is one good way to actually counter. The other good way to actually counter the enemy would be to actually use all those things that are not strike or blast arts. So you've got blue cards. Blue cards can be used very effectively, but it's going to be difficult to catch them. You can use ultimate arts. Ultimate arts are going to be very effective, but it's also going to be difficult to catch them. With blue cards, at least you can use it from long range. Ultimates is not exactly the same thing. It's more so, besides Super Saiyan 3 Gold tanks, you got to be close range, and if they don't move, they're just going to vanish. You also have your tap attacks. So from long range, you got tap shots. He will dodge every single one. If he's not floating, then that means his gauge will actually decrease, and he wasted the dodge, which is very useful. And you won't take damage from the immediate response damage. You can tap attack at close range. That would have the same effect, just depending on how you play it out. You could actually get that out effectively. And then you can also do tackles, but I hate tackles more than anything else in this game. Tackles are just a liability. It's walking into death, and I don't advise you to go for tackles, but they can be very, very effective when used in the right situation. Those are pretty much your only options to counter this guy, and more time they're going to be ready, and those are the options I'm going to give you later in the video. But these are literally all the counters that you got on the table, but it's about how you execute them rather than what the options are. I feel like the blue card's your best bet, but it takes a lot of your ki, and what you decide to do after puts you into a 50-50. So you're just stuck doing 50-50s every time you're using MUI, which just isn't a good odd, but it's not much. There's not much you can do about that, like, honestly. Now we're getting into the goods of MUI Goku. MUI Goku has a lot of good, and I'm gonna give you some key ways that you can use them effectively. I got a couple here, and we're gonna get into that straight away. So the first one here is literally baiting out the enemy to attack you. Now everybody knows MUI has this gauge that literally as soon as he dodges a strike or a blast art, you're gonna take damage, and that's not good. Why am I taking damage just because I tried to hit you? That is seriously OP. And the damage is not even a minimal amount, it's a very good amount. So you getting that extra like damage out of that, it shouldn't be underestimated, especially when you're facing someone. Maybe if they're using Kaioken and you use this technique I'm about to show you, you can literally ruin the enemy's day. So what I advise you do, possibly start with the opposite. So MUI Goku's red, so he's type advantage against yellows. So what you want to do is start with a purple. That would be the best bet. If you start with a purple, they will start with a yellow, and then probably do a blast that's against you with a yellow. That's smart, right? That's what the enemy would do, baiting them out. You stay in the screen with the purple. So when they do an attack with the yellow, more time of blast starts, LOE. Immediately you switch into MUI Goku, and you will do a lot of damage just off the fact that you dodged the attack, the auto dodge with the gauge, and then dealt offensive damage. It works like a charm almost every time. Until people really clock on, this video isn't going to help. But if you get to it first, you can utilize it well. It is an insane way to deal a lot of damage, and you should be taking every bit of damage that you can take. Like, if they're offering you the opportunity to take their health, take it. Don't let that go. Like, don't let go. Don't let it go. Don't let it go for free. You could be capitalizing off doing damage against them. That can literally give you a whole edge in the battle. That's what you want. You always want to be ahead of your enemy. Literally all you have to do is bait them with one unit. As soon as they do a blast starts from long range, hopefully not a tap attack, so watch out for tap attacks, tackles, things like that, because those won't allow you to do offensive damage. If it's a blast attack or a strike art, you could immediately switch into MUI, and because he's in a straight position, could you switch them in, he will always dodge, and then you will deal some offensive damage, which is great. Now I really dislike this type of play in PvP. I think it's so boring, it's so stale, but it's the best way to capitalize off his kit. Now MUI is not to be a guy that comes in and does straight burst damage. He's not meant to do explosive damage. He's meant to build it up slowly, but at the same time he's meant to be a unit that you keep in for a long time so you can build up your damage, right? That's what comes with his gauge. You have to learn to be patient. I hate that. I hate it so much, but it's what comes with him. You have to be so patient to the point where you're in the zone, almost like nothing else in the outside world can bother you when you're using MUI Goku. You have to be focused on the fact that you're moving like the wind, gliding, not sidestepping, gliding when you have gauge all the time, up and down, left and right. Practice it, it will change your life. You need to be practicing gliding. Patience with gliding will get you so far in Dragon Ball Legends. The PvP scene is all about patience and gliding. Honestly, switching up your tempos, especially when you're controlling your patience, controlling the battlefield, you want to control the whole atmosphere. With MUI Goku, it gives you that chance. The only time you won't really do that is if you're facing off against another MUI Goku. So be impatient, make sure you're not getting dominated. You need to be the one controlling the whole flow. Floating, making sure they're not tapping you, not getting hit by tap attacks to waste your gauge. You need to be floating left, right, up and down, making sure that your opponent doesn't know what to do. Make their mind go fuzzy. Make them think, what can I do? Then they try to do something stupid and it just doesn't work. Now you've got the lead. Utilize your dodge, give that offensive damage when you dodge attacks. It's all great, man. You gotta use it. Use what his kit has. Don't just use him like a regular unit. There's a skill gap with this unit, and that's what you need to actually get better at doing. Increasing that skill gap against you and other players when using MUI Goku. That's how you get the edge. So he's not a unit you can just think, oh, because he's really cool and he does all of this and he's really nice, you're just gonna be good straight away. No, you need to learn legends. You literally need to learn the ranked PvP scene and learn how to float so you can capitalize off the fact that he's not a unit that's going to just do explosive damage, which he definitely can. But you can imagine long term when the boost goes and things like that, you're going to need to be patient with this guy. And that's just a fact. Now, out of the two ways I've already showed you, this one is my favorite because I feel like it works more than the other ones. But it's a little bit considering gambling. But it works. That's what's important. It works. And once you master it, because PvP is all a mind game. The whole battle, every single battle is a mind game. But reverse psychology with MUI is probably the best way to get the edge in a PvP battle. Now let me explain what I mean by this. So everybody knows that MUI has the dodge. If you attack him, then obviously I'm gonna see a downfall, so I can't exactly just attack. So to my benefit, I know that the enemy thinks like that. So what do? I can do the opposite. So in the sense where I might be waiting around, if the enemy is very scared to bait me, you might see a lot of PvP battles recently. I said in my showcase that I really dislike MUI Goku because everybody's going to want him obviously, but he's made the game a stalemate type game. Because unlike the sign one where if I attack I'm not penalized, here I'm penalized for actually attacking, which is stupid in my opinion. Like, that is a cracked mechanic, but it is what it is. So in this case, I can use that to my advantage and actually take the opportunity to attack. So I might be floating, the enemy is not attacking me because there's no point. So instead, I actually attack them. Or they might be very sidestep ready. They keep sidestepping. I just gotta wait and catch the right one. It's very effective, but you have to be very careful with it because it can be a big double-edged sword. So just know that if you're going to take advantage of the reverse psychology mind games in PvP, you know that if you mess up, that's a big mess up. Like, that's a big mess up, bro. Like, UI Gokus could get obliterated in literally one ultimate from a blue unit, USG. So just be careful, be very careful. But I do have to say that reverse psychology works very, very, very well. Now, to conclude this video, to master MUI Goku, you gotta get all these three things down. That's what I think is very important, on top of knowing that the enemy knows your counters. If you get all of those down, it's a matter of combining all of those factors into one and applying them to situations on the fly. So it's more so adaptability when you're facing your opponent. But most people would play very similarly, so you'd be able to actually surpass most players. But then there'll be that odd one or two who are just on supreme haki commander level. So you just gotta be careful. But honestly, once you master these things here, especially if you've mastered UI Sign Goku, nobody can really stop you. And that's just upsetting if you don't have MUI Goku. But it is what it is, man. The Legends dev, they mess up the game. It's insane. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, it's not going to be everything, but it puts you on the right track indefinitely, like 100%. I think that's the right word. Yeah, press the subscribe button on this grind to 30,000 subscribers. All my social media links are going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and the Discord link all in the description below. Man, MUI part 1 anniversary. Hopefully there's an ultra for part 2. But then again, do I want them to be cracked? I don't know, man. My name's Zakashi, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Please, lend me your energy!